Well, welcome to the Open-E webinar that we have for today. Today's going to be about how to update the DSS V6 with the new release information that we have, and much more than that. One of the things that we'd like to do is provide some details in some of the webinars to help you understand a little bit details of what we're going to be presenting. So, for instance, we're going to be talking about the new release information for the DSS version that just came out, Build 4786. Where to download all the new releases for all DSS versions, and how to receive notices of the new releases. Many times I get a lot of questions is, how was I not notified, or can we be notified? So I'll show you a little bit of where that's set up. Updating the DSS V6 with all new releases, so how we will proceed with that. And finally, a lot of questions that are really have been asked is, what do you do when you update DSS V6 with Auto Failover without having any downtime? Today is the October 12th, 2010, and my name is Todd Maxwell, and along with me is Tom Simon with Open-E Sales. The webinars are all recorded, so you'll be able to view them and the library's webcasts and demos. So please visit the link here, and you'll see a plethora of information and many webcasts and videos that are done for you to help you understand with features and options and how to set up the DSS V6 to help you better understand. Presentation is muted on the conference call, so won't be able to hear you, but you'll be able to hear me, and this is the reason for background noise and a few other things. So this helps a better quality presentation. Questions are always welcome. If you find on the right side of your net viewer, there's a chat section. In there, you'll see where you have the ability to type in a question, and I will answer it. So let's take a look at the Build 4786. Is that we now have a new possibility to dynamically switch between fiber channel and initiator and fiber channel target without system restarting for the QLogic 2 gig, 4 gig, and 8 gigabit. This has been long awaited, and this is duly because of the new SCST2. But in the past, what you had to do was, if you wanted to make the fiber channel initiator, as it will be a default mode, and you wanted to switch it to target mode, you had to restart it. So now you don't have to do this. Also, we now have support for automatic session reassignment for the fiber channel and iSCSI protocols. What does this mean? In the past, when you had fiber channel targets and you had or created a group or modified a group or a LUN, it would do a reset. And this was duly because of the fiber channel target associated, which was the SCST 1.0. Now with 2.0, the problem is gone. Support for more than 8 QLogic HBAs in target mode. So previously we had customers using more than 8, so now we have this, and we now give you the ability to have more than the normal rate of 8 QLogic HBAs. We now have advanced options for the SAMA shares. This is really significant, and it really details in the granularity of the shares of inherent owners, inherent access control list, inherent permissions and locking, and also map access control list inherent. So there's great details in that in the online help manual of the DSS V6 for each of the shares. We also have now the support expander in build for the LSI RAID manager. So if you go to the hardware RAID function tool that we have, you'll be able to see how that's all set up. Now, we've also updated, as we just previously talked about, the iSCSI and fiber channel target architecture is now the new SCST 2.0. And again, in the previous versions with 1.0. What does this mean for you? More improvement in performance, stability, and we really needed this to develop some other features that we're looking at with the Auto Failover, because currently right now we're active passive. So alongside with that, the iSCSI Enterprise Target daemon is also updated, and as well as the initiator architecture. Let's go to our next slide. We've updated the Adaptive drivers and the CLI tools. I want you to take a note that the Adaptive Storage Manager 6.5 was not updated. We do have a small update that it will be available probably in about 14 days from here, that this will be followed with also in the release for this one with 4786. So please come back to us, ask us in the support lines or the pre-sales at open-e.com to inquire for this new update and get this update that you can apply right into the GUI. So it will also be in our next release in November. The Adaptive driver will be installed as well. The Storage Manager 6.5 will be in this next release. So currently right now it's not in the 4786, but we will have a small update, and of course in the following release it'll be incorporated in that. We now have the NetaTalk 2.1.3, so the AppleTalk filing protocol has been updated. The data replication, which is not the volume replication, but the data replication is using rsync, and we've updated the rsync version. This is for replicating your shares. So this is at the file level. We've also added the new backup exec agent version 13.0. So this will support for your backup exec 2010 versions, release 2. We've added the new Areca driver. We're seeing a lot of the new Areca controllers that are coming out. I believe the 1880. So you'll have support for this, and also for the Areca management tool. A lot of questions have come in basically for the support for Adaptive, the Max IQ, for the SSD caching. So we now are implementing testing for this, so please test it, and please give us some of your responses to that. We'd like to, it helps our engineers to fine tune or to be able to discover some issues that we may not encounter. So, but typically we've done some testing already on it. Performance is really impressive. And of course, last we put some management for iSCSI clustering using the API functionality. In past webinar we had where you were able to use the API function to be able to stop and start snapshots. You can create iSCSI volumes. Now you have the ability to stop and start your HA environment with our Auto Failover. So I like to keep my PowerPoint short and brief so that we get right into the GUI and perform the updates and show where to get the updates. So thank you for, we'll be planning for the next webinars soon. They're always going to be on broadcast on our webpage, and plus we send them out to you. So let's go ahead and end the session of the PowerPoint. When you receive updates, or how do you receive updates, you want to make sure that you go into your support page, and here you'll see on the left software updates. And this is your portal. So some of you may have a partner portal, a user portal. Here's all your registered products. If I want to receive updates to the new releases for DSS V6, here's where you can make sure that you check product updates info. Make sure that's checked and applied. You can also receive marketing newsletters and partner newsletters as well and submit it. And for your updates, you want to be able to click on your product and update. So here, if we were to select DSS V6, click on the details, and scroll down, and over on the left here, you'll see the serial number, the product key. And what's important about this is, let's say you needed to reinstall DSS V6 on a separate system, or you're doing some upgrades to the system, and you want to be able to reinstall DSS on a fresh system. You can take your existing USB DOM or your array controller that has a 2 gigabit volume in it where DSS is installed and actually move it right into a different motherboard and system, or move the USB DOM or your flash stick or SATA DOM. But if you're doing new installs, then you still have your record information stored here, so you can reapply your product key. And also tells the information about your storage. So here's the updates right in here. If we look at 4786, we click on it, and here you're going to see the ISO image that you can download and update to the DSS V6, and all the release notes that are inside here as well. So please make sure you read the release notes. There's a lot of information, especially for known issues, and also what we've fixed in some of the statuses. And once you download the ISO image, then we'll be ready to upload it through the GUI. I do want to make a point, though, if you are looking just to test V6, just log in and then click on the blue button that says try, and you can download the ISO image, which is the same as if you're going to your updates. So here are the ISOs for CD-ROM. If you scroll down the bottom, you have a zip format that you can apply on a USB flash stick. So let's begin on our updates. I got two DSS systems up. One is called DSS Source, if you notice up here on the tab, and also DSS Destination. And I have placed the previous version. So for this example, we will update 4622 to the latest version, 4786. Now let's go into the maintenance. So pretty much when you do software updates, you want to go into maintenance and you want to go to software update. Typically what I recommend if you have real old versions, even if you're upgrading to, let's say, DSS V5 to V6, before updating, I always recommend this functionality. It's called Maintenance Miscellaneous. And this is going to save your settings and your setup and your configuration. You can download locally, which is what I recommend. It'll store it in a settings.cnf file. So every time you do an update, you'll always see this, that it will auto-save the last configuration and setup. So let's go back to the maintenance software update. And here I've already loaded the ISO image. All you would do is just go to Browse, then load that ISO image, and then hit Upload. And at that point, you'll have the ability to accept it. And to view the release notes, you can always click down here right next to the down arrow button. And this also provides the release information. Once you have the upload ready and you can apply it, then you will need to restart it. And it will state that in the message here. You can also use the check button. So what this does, it will automatically go out to our FTP server, verify that there is an update version. So we're going to reload the tab because we want to stop the update. And now we'll want to be able to take a look at, we'll let it run. It's not going to do any harm. So what we're going to do is we want to be able to update this to the latest version. Now let's say you're in auto failover mode. So let's take a look at our auto failover. Here I have the DSS destination in secondary passive mode. And on my source, I have it in primary active. Now to verify our data, we're using a virtual IP address of 192.168.3.240. I have a Windows 2003 server, as we will look right here. Here's where I connected to my target, which is my virtual IP address 3.240. And of course we see my target. And you also want to do a ping, so that verifies you're viewing your virtual IP address and also your data. So right now the auto failover is functioning, and we want to be able to do the update.